things that help me as a trader. All right, so I'm gonna get straight into it. This video's gonna have probably no cuts, just gonna go on the topic. But things that help me as a trader. First thing, when I first started trading, I had a habit of over trading and over leveraging. Why? Because I was money hungry and I was greedy. All right, everyone's greedy. Everyone's greedy. You might not be extremely greedy, you might not see it in yourself, but when it comes to money, you have that greed inside of you. You always want more, right? You always want to make more, because why would you want to sell down for less? Which is true, but in trading, that can really fuck up your psychology. That can really mess you up. So what helped me, why it took me so long to realize, and figure out what it is I had to do, was you just have to realize that there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. There's always gonna be another day. And the sun's gonna come the next day, the moon's gonna come the next day. Same shit every day, right? Once you realize that, you also realize that you don't have to overtrade to make money. You don't have to over leverage to make money. And even if you have a small account, those things are still not acceptable, because people think, I see you guys. You guys say, yo, Don, I have a small account. I'm gonna over leverage, blah blah, so I can get to this point. Whatever it is this sustainable? Right? Because if you can't do those things on a small account, you can't do it on a big account. You don't have to skill to trade on a small account. You don't have to skill to trade on a big account, right? What can I say? If you don't know how to understand what a range is, psychology, like how you gonna just get a big account and be able to trade it? You can't go 0 to 100 that quick. I know Drake set that line, but it's not sustainable in FX. It's just not sustainable. You over leverage, cool, one trade, you win. You over leverage another trade, you lose that whole account. You're betting your whole account for one trade. Long term, is that sustainable? Are you able to, you have a 100% win rate, in other words, right? It's very hard to have a 100% win rate. I don't want to say it's impossible, because everything's possible, but it's very hard to have a 100% win rate. And unless you do so, that 99% is not even that. Even if you have a 99% win rate, that 1% is still there. At the end of the day, the 1% is still there, and that 1% can mess up your whole entire account if you were to over leverage. So not worth it. All right, over trading, not worth it as well. Like, just call it a day, because you have more days tomorrow, you have more opportunities tomorrow, you have more setups, more entries, more things are going to come. So you don't have to FOMO over that move that happened at 2 p.m. during FOMC. You don't have to FOMO over that 8 a.m. push that happened during NLP on a Friday. There's no FOMO behind it, because you know what? What's in the back of my screen right now? Do I see this? All these candles here. All those candles are historical data. It's always gonna be history. If you have FOMO, then why didn't you get FOMO when price was moving back in 2000? It's like there's no point, because it's always tomorrow. Look, candles are printing right now as we form. Tomorrow, on my right? Candles right here, they're printing as we form, and they're gonna print tomorrow and the day after that, until whenever, right? But just focus on it now. And also, yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Next thing, chat, is sample size. This is a better way for you guys to understand how to stop over leveraging and over trading. Sample sizing. If I knew what sample sizing was when I first started trading, I would have saved a lot of money and a lot of time. Unfortunately, I didn't. I learned that a little later in my years, which is fine. But now I'm here to teach you guys that, and you guys are able to, learn probably, instead of making the same mistakes that I did, right? So, sample sizing. People don't know this, but what if I told you that sample sizing could help you psychology wise as well, right? It can help you stop over trading, over leveraging. Well done. How does that work? When you sample size and you have a decent sample size for the trades that you take, the wins that you take, the losses that you take, what's gonna happen is you're only going to follow those setups and those entries. Like when I talk about the onion and the starter play, for example, let's just say I have 2 plays, onion and starter play. I will not take a trade if it's not the onion play or the starter play at all. I am not gonna take a trade, because it's not my setup. It's not something that I would usually take. It's not something that I have data on, that I have sample sizing on, or I have no numbers on if the trade's profitable, how is it profitable, nothing at all on it. So what's the point of me taking a position like that? So long term, you will be a profitable trader if you stick to your high sample size trades. You will be a profitable trader. It's only when you think of short term. Like, yes, you might lose every now and then. Nothing is 100%, right? So you might lose now and then, but at the end of the day, long term, if you continue to take the same setups over and over and over again, those same starter plays, those same iron plays, whatever it is that works for you, long term, you will be profitable. because those sample size trades, hopefully you get to a point where you sample size enough to understand that it's an 8% winning trade ratio. All right, but or percentage. But the next question you guys are gonna ask me probably is, yo, how do I know how much I got a sample size? It all comes down to you. Whenever you're comfortable to a point where you say, this is it, I'm comfortable taking this trade, I understand this trade, it's a trade I've taken so many times, it's a whatever X and X win rate ratio, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna continue to take those. And that's when you figure out you could finish sample sizing for that one entry type or that one setup or that one thing that you notice in the charts. All right, but there's plenty of other things you can sample size. It comes from just like sample sizing, you know, is it better to close half at 10 pips or close full at 10 pips or let it run risk free, like stuff like that, or like sample sizes of me drawing my levels here versus me drawing it here, range 1 range 2 breakouts, what if I draw it here and stuff here, because everything in FX is subjective at the end of the day. Because we actually talked about this on the stream today. We talked about how everything is subjective. Everyone has their own way of doing things. Everyone has their own way of seeing things. No one's going to see the same setups. A Fibonacci, a trendline tapping support, right? A support form, closing above the range, starter play, like that is all the same thing. Who fucking knows? No one's gonna know. So at the end of the day, just do what works for you and only do what works for you, because the more you listen to others, the more you can get confused, right? The more you get confused. So that's my number one tip for that. The last thing I want to talk about that I get questions on all the time, and I know this was all over the place, but it's definitely value. Last thing that people always ask, how long does it take you to become profitable? I hate answering this question because it's so, again, it's so subjective, right? It's literally anything. It depends on who you are. Were you disciplined growing up? Were you not disciplined? You know, did you have habits? Did you have bad habits? You know, some people I know came to FX disciplined as shit. Next thing you know, 4 or 5 months later, they're profitable. And it comes down to just how disciplined they are, how you are at the end of the day. Everyone's different. No one's gonna be the same. Me, I was not disciplined. I'm being honest. I was not disciplined. I blew like 20 accounts before I got consistent or profitable. You know, but again, when you blow accounts, when you lose, that's when you learn. So you gotta take advantage of that. So again, it comes down to how much you want it and how much are you down to, how I guess like how deep are you willing to dig? You know, how deep are you willing to dig and find what works for you, what's best for you, what doesn't work for you. Again, sample sizing at the end of the day. So once you figure out psychology, overtraining, over leveraging that I mentioned earlier, you'll be golden as a trader. All right, but it's very important that you understand that it takes time. All right, so don't expect tomorrow be, you know, if you're not consistent, if you're not profitable, don't expect tomorrow for it to come. Don't expect next week. Just go with the flow. Whatever happens. That's all that is. Don't set yourself a time what is it called? A time, a date that you need to become profitable by, because I know people who've done that, and what ends up happening when you do that is you start to put pressure on yourself for no reason. You start to just automatically think about, oh fuck, I need to make this by this day so I can go with this. It's like you're putting pressure when there's no need to do that, and it's all about just going with the flow, and whatever happens, and there's always more opportunities every day, right? That's all that is. All right, guys, so I hope this will help you. This is a round video. I thought about it just now, you know, but I know for a fact that these get a lot of questions answered. And if you guys like these videos, I just go on these rants every now and then. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comment section. But other than that, man, that's about it. Stay safe. Catch you guys tomorrow. Peace and love.